in E1 right now, I think there's a lot of overrated rosters and a lot of underrated rosters. And I think this is like slightly overrated as a team.
Here I am with Weston from Outlast. Yeah, Weston, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just got off a win against Carry the Boats. Just, excited for the next game.
Yeah, and talking about that Carry the Boats game for just a little bit, it was a pretty close affair. Not as close as your first match against SSG Academy, but it was a bit back and forth there. What did you think of that match overall?
Honestly, it should have been way easier for us to win that game. There's a lot of factors coming into it, like Spiker just dropping a
Yeah,
nuke on us out of nowhere. Like I don't know how many kills he had. It
it was a
seems like
lot.
we couldn't win a single gunfight against him. And the fact that I just got home after a long trip and we're all just uncoordinated still. It was just a lot of factors in that game that caused us to struggle. But I think we should have won it way more dominantly than we did.
Yeah, I did have a question though, which was about the tech pauses, because I noticed they happened in both your matches so far, and they kind of led to momentum shifts in the match. Like there's a tech pause, like right as you guys were getting momentum against SSG Academy, and it kind of looked like you almost ran out of steam or something after that pause, and then against Carry the Boats, you let Carry the Boats go on a bit of a run after that tech pause as well. Like you came back and you won the match, but it kind of gave them a few more rounds than you would probably want. Have those tech pauses been affecting you like as much as I'm characterizing, or am I like making a mountain of a molehill?
I think it's just really like placebo because after that first, I wasn't there for the first game against SSG, and then I heard Bay was doing really good after the first few rounds, and then they had the pause, and then after that he like I
Slow
don't
it down a
know
little bit,
what he
yeah.
did, like yeah, like one kill after that. I think he was just getting in his own head. For us, I don't really know. I think it's just coincidence. We didn't. I don't believe much in momentum because
Okay,
if you have a strong mental as a team, you shouldn't. There shouldn't be a problem with momentum. You should be able to fix the problems that have happened.
yeah.
So
Okay, yeah. And your next match is against Taken Kings. This is a like I want to say they should be one of the top teams, like one of the teams that you expect to go into playoffs, but they've been looking a little shaky. What are your thoughts going into this match? Are you doing any prep or like anything super intense for this match, or are you just kind of going into it as is?
uh, we looked over some of their VODs to see how they played, and I didn't watch any VODs, but because everyone's out. When we do watch VODs, it's like midnight and I'm asleep. But from what I've heard from my team, they have a very aggressive play style, and if we just lay back on attack and hold our angles and let them swing us, we'll probably win very dominantly.
All right.
So that's all we have right now. We
Yeah,
still have another day of prep that we can do too. So
that is also true. On that topic though of like doing prep work, I know it's a little bit hard given the format, but like how much prep does the average Outlast does Outlast do for the average match? Like, is it a ton, or does it vary depending on the
it's
opponent?
it depends on the team. If
Okay.
it's like I don't know if we did anything against SSG, but I think if I were there, it would have changed and we would have actually went through and tried to. There wasn't much prep we could do, so we
Okay.
didn't have any information off them because they're a fresh team. They're two different teams combined, so there wasn't much prep we could do. Against Carry the Boats, we all watched a VOD and just watched how they played, and we saw it was a bunch of individual gunfights that they were taking rather than more team play coordinated. So we based off our style of that game against just singling out the gunfights with them and doubling up and getting trades. So usually it depends on the team. If it's a way better team, we'll probably go more into depth to it. But if it's like a lower tier team, we'll just look at their play style and based off how we play against their play style and just try to counter them like that.
Okay, yeah, and it also makes sense. Like for some of these lower ranked teams, like there's not as much tape on them, so it does get a little hard to prep in the first place. So
Yeah.
you know, I have this question on here, just to follow through with a joke with friends, which, take it as serious as you want here. Rank your upcoming opponent, which would be Taken Kings in this case, in terms of shitness compared to you. So obviously, I'm instigating. I know what I'm doing. I'm trying to start fires.
I don't really like saying I Scoob and Vipoa. I really like those guys, so I don't really like.
Yeah,
No,
like obviously,
I wouldn't really like calling them shit, but I think this goes for a lot of rosters in E1 right now. I think there's a lot of overrated rosters and a lot of underrated rosters, and I think Taken Kings is like slightly overrated as a team.
Okay.
Because back in T3, they were sort of dominant. Then they started falling off, and they had that roster change with Doug, and Scoob came on, and then they had their XGS run where they didn't even make playoffs. But
yeah.
what I would talk to Scoob about it, and they said they completely changed their play style. So I haven't really watched anything on them yet, but I think it'll probably be a close match. Like I think we're probably evened out. I did watch their border game. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They're getting smoked by 1HP, and in my opinion, 1HP is one of the overrated teams too. They're
Oh,
good,
really?
but I think they are a beatable team.
Okay.
And so, and they came back and got 4 rounds, but I don't know. I think that like we're evenly matched, or we're probably better than them in my opinion. This is how it is.
Okay. And just for the last 2 questions there, is there any team that you want to face off against? Like, assuming, like, we're the Swiss system, just not a factor. Anyone you want to face in particular in this tournament?
I'm gonna look through the teams real quick.
No worries.
I personally, I would have liked to play SSG, but I wasn't there. So I'd want to play another one of the favorites. Like, I'd want to play GGG to see how we do,
Okay.
because I think they are the team to win it. I think
Really?
they're one of the underrated teams, and I think they are the best team in the tournament right now, for sure, no doubt about it.
Okay.
And them and Slate, only because Spider and Natural on that team, and we've been friends for like 4 years.
Yeah.
So
if
I'd love to
someone's
play
going to take
them
him out,
and-
it's going to be me, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am curious, though. Where do you rate Aerial Rise, then? If, like, GGG is kind of a top dog, and then SSG ACAD's one of those, like, top 3, where do you rate Aerial Rise? Are they number 2, number 3, number 15? Like, where are they?
It's hard to say, because when they were as dominant as they were, in terms of, like, skill level, all the other teams that they played against weren't even close to their skill level at all. So they
Okay.
seemed very dominant. But as of right now, I think they could be like, I think they're top 4 at least.
Okay.
But I still think like, I think they're at a point where they're like their progression as a team and like their level is slowly coming to a halt, and they're
Okay.
about to hit like just a plane where they're not improving at all, and they're just going to be stuck at that level.
Yeah, so that's the trouble, and, like, they're finally getting real competition, but it's right after they've already peaked. So that's the problem.
And Poison made a tweet where like he said something recently about them not gonna double scrim anymore.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna be coming to school and doing work. So I think that's gonna like heavily halt their progression too. So on top
Okay.
of them being as good as they are and reaching their skill ceiling, them not being able to scrim as much and less time as like a team together doing like VODs or dry runs, stuff like that. I still think they'll be a dominant team because all
Yeah.
those players on there are fantastic players.
Yeah, of course. But, maybe just not gonna win it out like they might have 2 months ago or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And then, final question. From what you've seen of the tournament so far, what you've played in the tournament so far, who are your top 3 teams in this tournament?
Top 3.
Yeah. Feel free to
GGG.
include yourself. Like, I'm here for it. That's why I did 3,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
a lot of people are just going to be like, oh, well, we're the best team in here, so you got to make
Yeah.
it 3 so that they can include themselves, and then two other teams.
I stay humble, so I'm not going to put myself up there. But number one is going to be GGG, no
All
doubt
right.
about it. Number two is between Ariel and SSG, but that's like a mix-up.
Yeah.
And then third place could easily go between Karn and Co. 1 HP. Let me check the other teams.
Dilemma.
Carnival 1 HP, Carnival, which is old 1 HP,
Oh yeah, that's right. They changed.
and possibly Dilemma.
Okay.
So I think those four teams could fight for third place.
All right. And just to close out here, Weston, anything you want to say to the fans, the opponents, the haters, anyone in between, everyone in between?
Not much. I mean, a lot of people doubted me, doubted my skill for a very long time, and I'm just here to prove them all wrong.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for your time, Weston, and best of luck going into your next match.
Appreciate it. Thank you.